Hey Ted, let's have some music right now on the show. Let's listen to the Late Greats with River's Edge.
Are you talking to yourself?
Did you stop recording?
No, but you said, hey, Ted.
Did I?
You did.
Oh, do you know what? I think the thing is, I've listened to previous episodes so much that I'm so used to hearing you say, hey, Ted.
Hey, Ted.
Hey, Ted. That I'm now getting to the point where I'm saying, hey, Ted. I'm Ted.
You are Ted.
Right, okay.
Excellent.
Welcome to the Tuesday Show with CJ and Ted. This week, it's not my way and it's the wrong highway, and much more.
Yes, and welcome to episode number 4. I'm CJ.
And I am Ted.
And how are you doing today, Ted?
I'm good, thank you very much.
Good day.
I'm glad to be here.
Good day. So today's Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
Which means yesterday was Monday. Do you know what the day before was?
No. Hang on, this is not difficult. The day before Monday was Sunday.
It wasn't just any old Sunday. It was Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl, do you know what Super Bowl Sunday is?
I do not actually know what Super Bowl Sunday is. I think I know what Super Bowl is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game, and I know what Sunday is. I can put the two together and understand that there's some sort of connection. So there was a football game then.
There was an American football game that happened on Super Bowl Sunday, called the Super Bowl, which is the effectively the climax of the season between the two championship teams as to who wins the what's called the Vince Lombardi Trophy, which is effectively their version of the World Cup.
Hang on. What do you mean their version of the World Cup?
Well, no other country plays American football apart from America, so
it'd be their version of the FA Cup then?
I don't know, whatever. It's the simplest way of putting it. It's their version of a World Cup.
Okay.
For American football.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's the trophy to get. So, I won't spoil it by saying who won. But to all intents and purposes, it wasn't a bad game. New England Patriots versus the Philadelphia Eagles. It was a good game. I'm not a big fan of the Patriots. It's more Tom Brady. I don't like him. He's a bit of an arrogant so-and-so. And he plays angry football as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand what I mean by angry football.
No, I don't.
Basically, so...
I barely understand what you mean by football.
Okay. So, Tom Brady, he plays a position called quarterback. He's effectively like the team captain. And when his team are falling behind, so they'll get to, later on in the second half of the game and they'll be down by, I don't know, let's say 20 points. He gets a bit angry and starts playing really, really well.
Right.
Because he's angry.
Okay.
He's like using the dark side of the Force. He draws his strength from the dark side.
Right.
And ends up coming back to win games that way.
Right.
I'm not saying he won, this Super Bowl. Looks like some people may not have watched it yet.
So a bit like having a guard dog that you poke with a stick.
I wouldn't have gone that far, no.
Right. It's a bit like having a badger that you...
It's a bit like having a beaver that you set a big cat on.
Okay.
No, he just plays angry football. He gets quite emotional about the game, which is fair enough because it's it pays his wages at the end of the day. But he's an aggressive player when he's not winning,
right?
And it shows in his style of play as well. It's like he's almost like a bit. I'm not really bothered, throughout the game, and then when he suddenly figures out that actually he's going to lose the game, he gets a bit emotional about it. And and starts throwing hard balls. So
Hard-boiled eggs.
no balls, not boiled. Basically, he'll throw he'll do a fast pass with the ball. He won't hang around. He'll just launch it as hard as he can down the field. Rather than giving it a gentle flip to somebody or.
I'm sorry. What was that action?
A gentle flip. That's how you pass an American football.
Okay, all right.
So if you knew the sport, we wouldn't be. I wouldn't have to do stupid hand gestures. Yeah. You need to get on board with a real sport. Cricket is not a real sport.
I'm not on board with cricket.
And I think for that, I don't really like him that much. He's a bit of a, quite arrogant.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal opinion, and I know I've just upset. If any Patriots fans are listening, I know I've just upset them. But hey, I don't care. I'm a Packers fan anyway. Go Pack, go. Anyway, let's have some music, shall we?
Yes, let's have some music. And our first track for today's show. Oh God! Do you know what? The worst thing is, I was going to launch straight into it, and I bet it would have been absolutely spot on.
It's fine. You weren't prepared.
No. Do you know what I wasn't prepared for?
Mm.
I really wasn't prepared for how out of my depth I was in terms of your conversation about the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I realised that I had nothing to bring to the table apart from those Pringles.
Hey, you brought Pringles.
Yeah, I
to
brought
the table,
Pringles to the table. And the first track for today's show is Neon City, and that's by Anna Jones.
It's the end of the week and the time has come to let down your hair and have some fun. We've been working all day, exhausted by night, so let's get out and put that right and take me to the neon city where the bars are full and the lights are pretty. Take me to where musicians play so I can grab you by the hand and swing and sway. Let's dance till the morning light, let the laughter flow to make us feel alright, and take me to those dazzling streets where crazy devils and sweet angels meet. Whoa, 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 whoa. Monday again, before you can blink, no time to stop, no time to think. There are bills to pay and mouths to feed, but tonight there's something else I need. So take me to the neon city where the bars are full and the lights are pretty. Take me to where musicians play so I can grab you by the hand and swing and sway. Let's dance till the morning light, let the laughter flow to make us feel alright, and take me to those dazzling streets where crazy devils and sweet angels meet. Whoa, 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 whoa. Working again, 9 to 5, and all I want to do is feel alive. The end of the week is now in sight, just you and me and Friday night. So take me to the neon city where the bars are full and the lights are pretty. Take me to where musicians play so I can grab you by the hand and swing and sway. Let's dance till the morning light, let the laughter flow to make us feel alright, and take me to those dazzling streets where crazy devils and sweet angels meet. Whoa, 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 whoa.
It's a shame it's Tuesday night.
Yeah. I was thinking about
It's somewhere towards the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
It's time to still knuckle down a bit.
Thankfully, it's not Monday anymore, but you can't rest on your laurels.
Oh dear.
And that was Neon City by Anna Jones. And you went to Exeter to meet up with her, Ted?
Yes, I did indeed. I met Anna just before Christmas, and the chat that we had is coming up later on in the show.
Lovely. Looking forward to that. So, Ted, I spoke to you on the phone the other day, and you were on the M6. Now, I've been thinking about this, because you work in Oxford,
Yes.
and we are in not Oxford.
No.
We are slightly northwest of Oxford. Sorry, northeast of
North.
North-
Yeah,
we are northeast of Oxford.
Northeast of Oxford. Yes.
For about an hour and a half-ish.
Yep.
Why were you on the M6?
Right. Okay. So, no. Okay. So what happens is there's a motorway. It's the M40, and anybody that knows this sort of geography will know that there's the M40, which runs from I don't know. Does it go all the way somewhere?
London to Birmingham.
Okay. So it goes from London to Birmingham. Of course it does. So it goes from London to Birmingham, and on the way, it swings by Oxford a bit.
It does.
And if you hop onto that, you can come off a few junctions down the road, or maybe only one or two.
Depending where you get on.
Or maybe, yeah, that's true. But the idea is it will help you. It'll act as a conduit to take you onto the A43?
Correct.
Yes, yeah. So what's the A34?
That goes from Bicester to, Newbury and further down. It goes all the way to Southampton, I think, the A34.
Okay.
But that's the one that, when you come off the M40, you'll get on the A34 and then head away from Bicester down towards Oxford.
Right, I see. So anyway, there's this M40. Now, if you get off and go on the A43,
Yes.
that will take you up towards Northamptonshire
Yes.
and the Midlands. Well, the East Midlands. If you fail to take a junction between Oxford and probably past Coventry, that sort of way, for whatever reason, you'll find yourself winging your way towards Birmingham. Now, imagine, if you will, and I don't need to imagine because it happened to me.
You were there.
I was there, but I was there. It was an evening. It was a Friday evening, so I was trying to get back. Okay, so I was trying to get back for the weekend after being down in Oxford.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd really left on time that I wanted to. So it was getting a bit late. It was getting a bit dark. I was a bit, it'd been a long week. And do you know what? I might have been preoccupied by tuning in to the latest episode of The Tuesday Show.
Yeah. A good choice.
A good choice, and that is my excuse for what became a bit of a nightmare because, I just stayed on the M40. Because, a long story short, I stayed on the M40 until I realised that I shouldn't be on the M40, and then I realised that the only way off it was the junction for the M6, which would take me towards the right direction. Except for the fact now this is where it wasn't my error, because the M6 was shut.
Right.
Unfortunately, that meant that I had to carry on for a few more junctions, or what seemed to be most of my adult life, and I ended up funneled into a situation whereby I needed to pay the M6 toll, which I don't even know how much it was because it was contactless. But what is it? £5 something?
£5.90.
£5.90.
Yeah.
What about? Does it depend on which time of day it
It
is?
was after 10 o'clock at night it goes down.
I don't know. It was probably getting close to it by then. Because I did try to avoid it. I was thinking, how do I get out of this? Yeah. So I paid £5.90 or possibly less to go on an M6 toll, and in my experience, the M6 toll is for one thing only, and that's going north. Okay, that's not going north from Oxford.
No.
That's going north from
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
Yeah, from anywhere vaguely south of Birmingham.
Yeah. That's for going towards Manchester, Liverpool,
Yes,
Staffordshire,
yes, yeah.
Scotland.
Scotland.
You know? But
parts of Wales. Yeah.
But here's the bit that confused me, right? So, and again, just in case the listeners aren't 100% au fait with the geography of this, so you head north on the A34.
Yes.
After coming out of Oxford, and this is basically like the primary route between effectively the M4 and the M40 if you want to go past Oxford. So you come out of Oxford, go north on the A34, you get on at the M40 at junction 9 at Bicester. You have to travel one junction to then get off to go down the A43 towards Northamptonshire. Come up the A43 northbound towards Northamptonshire. At what point did you realise you'd missed the junction? Where were you when you suddenly realised I'm still on the motorway and I shouldn't be?
I was quite a long way.
Because that's a long stretch between Oxford and Birmingham.
Are there some services along the way?
Warwick services, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's when I stopped at Warwick services to really assess my situation that I realised. And after that, it was road closures and things that just caused me more.
Surely there would have been a point where you could just, right, I'll come off at this junction, I'll turn around and go back.
Do you know?
Because you've ended up going all the way up the M40 to Birmingham, but you've then also gone on the M42 between the M40 and the M6, which goes northbound past Birmingham, to then go the wrong way on the M6 and to head northbound on the M6 and end up on the toll road.
Well, do you know
you couldn't have gone more wrong.
Okay, so when I'm at Warwick services, I punched it into the sat nav thing, and that's when the trouble started.
Damn the sat nav.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that's where the trouble continued. That was trying to take me down the M6, and then the M6 was shut, and then it was trying to take me up the M6 the wrong way so that I could do an about turn, which that wouldn't work either. So I was really, I was making up. I was really making it up as I was going along. In the end, do you know the real sting in the tail is, when things like that happen.
You still paid £5.90 for the toll road.
I paid £5
each way.
I paid not each way. I only paid once. I don't know how that happened.
So how did you get back?
I do not know. But by this time, I was just glad that I was on the move. So the real sting in the tail is that last night
Please don't tell me you did it again.
I didn't do it again, but I didn't quite take the junction that I intended to. I still overshot the A43 and ended up on the A422.
Yeah, from Banbury towards Northamptonshire.
Yeah, so that's where I came off this time.
That's amazing. What a great story.
And then I wasn't sure what to do. Do I go up to Daventry and go that way, or do I go the way I did go, which was back towards the A43?
That was the right way to go.
There we go.
Yeah, that was the right way to go.
Good.
That's what I would have done if I'd have missed that junction for whatever the reason.
Yeah.
Come off at Banbury.
Yeah.
Down the 422 towards Milton Keynes and Northamptonshire.
Get back to Silverstone.
Yeah. Get on. Yeah, jump on the. Well, see, there's a couple of ways.
I'd be no good at actual Silverstone. I'd never find the pits, would
I? Also, there's two ways you can go. I think when you come down the 422, you get to a roundabout, and it actually says Northampton to go off on the first exit, and it takes you around some back roads, and you end up coming out at Silverstone.
Believe me, all along, I have no doubt that there are signs everywhere in that part of the country telling me where Northampton is.
Yeah.
It's just that I missed them. But anyway, that's fine. I'm here now.
So you're still alive and you made it back.
I made it back. I made it back. So
safe and sound.
Moving on. So anyway, CJ, between Christmas and New Year, I went down to Exeter and I met Anna Jones. He's a singer-songwriter.
Cool.
Responsible for one of the tracks we've already heard on today's show. And we had a chat about her music, and playing herself into that chat is Anna Jones.
Open in my eyes, I see the sun still shining. Maybe every cloud does have a silver lining. One day I'm sure it will start to rain, but for now I'm just glad to be happy again. 'Cause you see me, you know me. It's taken so long, never thought you would sing my song. You hear me calling, you stop me from falling. With you I belong, 'cause you know how to sing my song. A new day has started and it makes me excited to see you by my side, joining me for the ride. With the wind in our hair, in our minds not a care. Just hope that the weather is set to be fair. 'Cause you see me, you know me. It's taken so long, never thought you would sing my song. You hear me calling, you stop me from falling. With you I belong, 'cause you know how to sing my song. Lying in my bed with you in my head, you light up my dreams, love's bursting the seams. The nightmares are gone, it's with you I belong. You keep me safe until the break of dawn. 'Cause you see me, you know me. It's taken so long, never thought you would sing my song. You hear me calling, you stop me from falling. With you I belong, 'cause you know how to sing my song. You see me, you know me. It's taken so long, never thought you would sing my song. You hear me calling, you stop me from falling. With you I belong, 'cause you know how to sing my song.
I'm sat here with Anna Jones in a cafe in Exeter, and we've just been listening to You See Me. Anna, hello, and can you tell us a little bit about You See Me?
Hello, yeah, You See Me is quite a jazzy number. It's a love song, really. It's finding new love, it's about new love and looking forward to the future with that new love. Quite simple, that's basically what it is. It's a love song.
And what a great way to start our chat. Well, first of all, gigs. We just mentioned before we started recording that you did your last gig was mid-December.
December, that's right. Yes, I collaborate with another singer-songwriter in Exeter, and we did a joint gig together. It was quite an intimate gig. It was about 40 people or so, but it was really nice. It was lovely, sort of pre-Christmas music afternoon. So yeah, that was fun. But otherwise, I do pubs normally. Restaurants, that type of thing.
Okay. So normally quite a smaller crowd then?
Yes, normally, although I have played, in the summer I did a charity gig in Cornwall, and that was to around about 100 people, but normally it's smaller pubs, bars, that type of thing.
And are you playing your original music, or are you going back to covers? Because we've listened to a lot on SoundCloud from you, and it's a bit of a range between the originals and the covers.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I do like songwriting. I really, really enjoy songwriting. it's a bit of a passion of mine. Depends on the venue, really. Pubs tend to want covers because that's a bit of a crowd pleaser.
Play something we know.
I know, exactly. People always want to hear something that they know.
Yeah.
But some of my originals always go down quite well in that situation too. So I do tend to do a mix. It really depends on the venue and where I am. Sort of smaller restaurants, bars, I can do more originals.
Yeah.
But in a pub, I would do more covers. And I tend to do sort of soul, jazz covers.
Yeah, I mean, listening to the covers that you got on SoundCloud, you just imagine you sort of draped over baby grand piano with a martini as you're singing along.
Yeah, draped over a grand piano. I'm not sure I could play the piano very well if I was draped over it, but yeah, that's the type of thing. Yes.
Yeah, that's what you'll have in your mind's eye as you listen to Anna on SoundCloud. Okay, so we were sort of totting up the originals that you've got at the moment, and I know you're still looking at writing more currently as well. But we had, 2, 4, 6, so you got about 8?
8 at the moment on SoundCloud, yes, and I've got another one that I want to put on, and I've just written another one, so that's 10. So that's enough for an album, I reckon. So I do, hopefully next year, I want to put them all together and to get proper recordings and get a CD out. That would be great if I could do that. And my little project for next year.
Yeah. So CD and online as well. Just tell me a little bit about the recording process that you've used so far.
Well, I've got an 8-track recorder at the moment that I plug my keyboard into, so I can record straight into that.
Yeah.
And then I've got all the sound. I've got microphones. I've got a dynamic mic for my cajon that I play, and so then I do the vocal. I do it all separately. So I record it all separately onto the different tracks.
Just to explain to me, a cajon, what kind of instrument is that?
A cajon is a Peruvian drum. It's I don't know if you've seen it. Quite a few drummers tend to use them on smaller and more intimate gigs when they can't take a proper drum kit along. And you sit
like
on
bongos?
Well, no, it's a box. Cajon is the Spanish word for box.
Right.
And so it used to be that sort of Peruvian workmen would sit on packing crates. That's where it's all come from. And they would sit and they would make a rhythm, use on, literally boxes, wooden boxes, while they were working as a recreational thing. And it's grown, obviously. And it's a proper drum. It looks like an oblong box that I sit on. And it's also got 4 guitar strings that go down the front plate of it. And so then you can get the sort of a punchy snare, like you would on a drum kit, snare type sound, and then you've got the bass sound on it as well.
Yeah.
A lot of variation of tones from the drum,
Yeah.
and lots of different rhythms.
So you've got you've got the keyboards and other percussion instruments as well.
Yeah, well, I just use I've got a foot tambourine, which I use when I'm gigging. I put a tambourine on my foot, and I've got shakers as well that I record with too. So then it creates such a much more fuller sound, obviously, than just voice and piano.
And the vocals, of course. So you're one of these people that explains why some people have more than their fair share, and then you end up with people like me that have got no musical talent whatsoever. So in terms of gigs, obviously we're recording now. We're going out in the beginning of the year, January, February. You'll be listening to this. What have you got in terms of gigs going forward into the new year?
At the moment, March is my first one. I've got a gig booked in March, which is a concert, charity concert that I play with other local musicians. I'm hoping.
Where's that?
In Topsham, so that's just outside of Exeter.
Okay, yeah.
It's the Acoustic Cafe concert, it's called, in Topsham, and that's on the 16th of March. So that's definitely booked in, and hopefully I can go back and play in the local pub that I normally play in.
Yep.
To book it. So it's a difficult time of year because pubs are busy over the Christmas period, so I can't really approach people until the new year. So next week I'll be messaging everybody again and trying to get some bookings. And then there's the Southwest Festival of Food and Drink, which is held in Exeter every year. I did it last year, and hopefully I'll be able to play there again next year as well, which is great. So
is that how I would imagine it? Lots of food and drink, and then right. Sort of beer tents in the evening, that sort of thing.
Exactly, that's right. It's held at the Exeter Castle.
Oh right.
And And then the gardens behind Exeter Castle is just filled with cookery demonstrations, like you say, lots of different producers, local producers come and sell their wares and show off what they do. And then there's live music as well throughout the day and into the evening as well. They have after dark parties, and it happens over the May Bank holiday weekend. It's really nice, yeah.
Might be worth taking a trip back to Devon for.
Absolutely, it's good.
We've talked about some of the originals. In terms of the covers that you do, I've heard you've got covers all very much of a theme, kind of a jazzy theme.
That's right. It's quite soul.
Should I Stay or Should I Go? Fall In, Fever. I've been listening to a lot of these covers that you've done.
No, that's great. Yeah, well, I appreciate your listening. It's great. That's right. Yeah, I tend to do covers that are more soulful in nature, and then like the Should I Stay or Should I Go, I've changed completely because that was a Clash song, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I've really slowed that down and made it more bluesy, more soulful. And I do that with just the voice and the cajon, and it has quite a good effect actually. I've had really good feedback when I do that one.
If I go, there will be double. So come on, let me know. Should I cool it? Or should I?
I want to come on to some of your new music there. First of all, just tell me about any collaborations that you've been doing.
Locally, I sing with another singer-songwriter. I think I mentioned we did a gig together in December. But also on SoundCloud, I've met quite a few people. It's a great platform for meeting other musicians and hooking up with people remotely. At the beginning of the year, I'm bilingual, I speak German, and another German musician contacted me about one of my other songs on SoundCloud, and I just got talking to him about one of his songs and said how much I liked it, and he wanted to do an English version, so I translated the lyrics for that. So we did that song together. I did the vocal and then sent it to him, and he then did the instrumentation around that. And then I've recently done some electro pop, which is something which is completely out of my experience, with a couple in the Philippines, who I also met on SoundCloud. And I did the vocals for one of their tracks as well, which is also, you can see that on my SoundCloud page.
That's all on your track list, is it?
Well, I reposted because it's their song, but I just reposted it, so it's on my SoundCloud page as well.
Okay. All right, super. So there's lots for us to look at on there. So some of your tracks, you've got a bit of variety there. Just tell me about some of your newer stuff and the differences between some of the tracks.
Yeah, well, I think I've mentioned before that my style is more jazz, so soulful, and I've drawn a lot of my writing. I've drawn from that genre, but I also quite a few of my tracks are also more sort of folky in nature, and I've sort of tried to link them to my own experiences or observations of life in general, and they're much more scaled down and simple. It's just a piano and voice on quite a few of them, and as I said, they're more sort of from folk genre, I think, or easy. I don't know. It's straight. I always find it difficult to describe my music, but it's that type.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, listening to a few of your tracks, I get kind of a bit of a show tune thing to it. I don't know if anybody said that before, have they?
No one said that. No.
Or maybe it's your voice. Maybe you've got a voice that you could take onto the stage.
Yeah, I've got quite a lot of projection on my voice, and I just have to open my mouth and the sound comes out, and sometimes I've got to sort of tone it down a bit, because I can be quite loud. Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll just break to listen to one of your tracks, and we're going to listen to Fairy Tale Lives. Just tell me a little bit about that.
Fairy Tale Lives is a little bit different to the other ones that I've done. It's more folk in style, in nature, and it's basically, I sort of drew on. I was thinking about my children. I've got a son and a daughter, and reading stories, reading fairy tales, and my daughter was always dressing up in Cinderella costumes and wanting to be Cinderella, finding her Prince Charming, and
I was
then
the same when I was younger.
and well, yeah. I didn't do that for the verse about my son, but anyway, he's Jack and the Beanstalk. But anyway, I don't. You might hear it in the lyrics. You might get it in the lyrics.
Yeah.
But then growing up, of course, fairy tales don't really come true, but you still believe in them. You still really want the dream, don't you? So it's about that, really. It's about the fact that you dream of a fairy tale life. You probably don't have it because you have to get a job and it's a bit mundane, but you still have that little spark that keeps you going.
Well, let's escape and let's have a listen.
There once was a girl with stars in her eyes. She believed all the fairy tales except in their lies. A beautiful princess was what she wanted to be, with her own Prince Charming for all eternity. Well, this is the story of me and you, wishing our fairy tale lives would come true. No wolf would come to blow our house down. We'd be safe in our castles, in our lovely silk gowns. There once was a boy, and he dreamt the same. His ambitions all told of great fortune and fame. With the help of some magic, he climbed so high, there's no telling what you find at the edge of the sky. Well, this is the story of me and you, wishing our fairy tale lives would come true. No ogre will come to devour us for tea. With all the gold in the world, we will be free. Yes, this is the story of me and you, wishing our fairy tale lives will come true. We battle our demons, keep the witches at bay, so we can sleep in our beds at the end of the day. Yes, this is the story of me and you, wishing our fairy tale lives will come true. We battle our demons, keep the witches at bay, so we can sleep in our beds at the end of the day.
So, Anna, last thing before we leave you is, where do we find your music? Where do we find more about you online?
Well, I'm on SoundCloud. I'm a big user of SoundCloud, Anna Jones Music. And then from there, I've got links to my Facebook page and also my YouTube channel. I've got a couple of videos of my songs on YouTube channel and some live performances. But if you just search for Anna Jones Music, you should be able to find something.
Fantastic. And when any gigs come up, please let us know so that we can put a shout out so anybody who's in the area can come along or get in touch or find out more about your music.
That would be great. Will do. Thank you very much.
What should we have to play us out?
Well, my favourite one, well, I've got quite a few favourites actually, but the one I really like playing is Rhythm of Our Hearts, because it's quite an upbeat jazz style to it, which is my style.
Yeah.
Plus, I've added the cajon, and I just really like performing it. I've recorded the piano track into an MP3, so I play that through my speakers, and then I play the cajon and sing along to it when I do it live. And I really enjoy doing it. I've got my foot tambourine on as well, so I think Rhythm of Our Hearts is the one that incorporates everything that I do.
Okay, well, we'll listen to that now, and thank you, Anna, for speaking to us today. We'll hope, no doubt, see you in future.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been fun. Thank you.
Lazy summer's nights, laughing till the morning light, footloose and fancy free, gazing over a shimmering sea, and out of those golden skies I saw the spark of love in your eyes, and our hearts started beating as if they were one. I could feel the heat of the fire to come. We fanned the flames right up to the sky, setting the sparks soaring so high. The rhythm of our hearts will never break us apart. Warm October days, watching you as if in a haze, as the leaves came spiraling down. My feet had barely touched the ground, for under those crimson skies the sparks of love danced in your eyes, and our hearts started beating as if they were one. I could feel the heat of the fire to come. We've had the flames right up to the sky, setting the sparks soaring so high. The rhythm of our hearts will never break us apart. The embers glowed through the winter's nights, sparks were flying up out of sight. Let's make them sizzle, let's make them soar. The rhythm of our hearts can't make them roar. For under those pale blue skies I can feel that love never wanting to die, 'cause our hearts started beating as if they were one. I could feel the heat of the fire to come. We fanned the flames right up to the sky, setting those sparks soaring so high. The rhythm of our hearts will never break us apart. Waking in the spring, like the birds, all I wanna do is sing. And as the flowers begin to show, there's one thing for sure that I know, 'cause under those bright blue skies the sparks of love just wanna fly, and our hearts started beating as if they were one. I could feel the heat of the fire to come. We fanned the flames right up to the sky, setting the sparks soaring so high. The rhythm of our hearts will never break us apart. The rhythm of our hearts will never break us apart. No, it will never break us apart. Do, 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 do.
And there we have it. That's Anna Jones. And all the details will be on the podcast description.
Lovely. It's a good song, and yeah, I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
That's a bit like Morse code.
It was more... Do you know Morse code?
No.
No, me neither.
I know SOS and SMS. That's about it.
Is that 3 as well? Is it 3 dots? 3? What?
SMS is three
SMS.
dots, 3 dots, 2 dashes, 3 dots.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah. Do you not remember the old Nokia phones when they came out? They used to make that noise. They used to go.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. That's
Yeah.
Morse code for SMS.
Yeah.
I would have thought I'd known more, but no.
No, I would have imagined. I know what H is.
I don't know what H is.
I think it's 4 dots, but now I'm doubting myself.
I know A is 1 dot and B is 2 dots.
Is it?
And C is no. S is 3 dots, isn't it? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe B is like a dot and a dash. Also, I don't know. I know A is 1 dot. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all.
But no, it's not. When people do Morse code, it's all done in phrases.
Yeah, it's all shorthand as well.
Yeah.
That's where shorthand was invented.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
That's how shorthand was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, as a nerdy example, obviously SOS. Before that, it was known as CQD. Stands for Come Quick in Distress.
All right.
But instead of trying to tap out, come quick in distress,
Yeah.
they just shorten it to CQD.
Okay.
And same with SOS. Instead of trying to tap out Save Our Souls, they just tap out SOS.
Right.
When people are like sending out their call sign, they start off with the letter C and the letter Q.
Right.
Because if you say them together, CQ, as in seek you, I seek you.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah. No, they don't say OIC, but.
Oh, I see.
But that's pretty much how shorthand was invented. Yeah. By shortening things down as best as possible. So here's another example. Do you know why people say Roger? When or like the military people, when they're on the radio, they say Roger. Do you know why they say that?
They say it because. No, I don't know.
So again, in Morse code, when you received a message, instead of sending back received, you just send back the letter R. Now, in old phonetic alphabet, R, whereas now it's Romeo, it used to be Roger.
Really?
So rather than saying received, they just send back the letter R, and then when it came on to talking on the radio, they just say Roger. R for Roger. There you go. Every day's a school day.
It is.
What a nerdy lesson.
What an educational podcast we have for you today.
Yeah. I love those little facts, though. I find those things really interesting.
Yeah.
Just go, why Roger? Where's Roger come from?
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Yeah. Roger.
Wodwick. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
So...
Bickus.
I thought about it. I thought, no.
What's wrong with Bickus? Biggest Dickus.
One of my pistol friends.
Yeah, exactly. It's a character name. Nothing rude about that.
So...
So, ladies and gentlemen, while Ted is stuffing his face with Pringles, I shall give you my review of Pulp Fiction, which I had to go away and watch this week. I'm going to be very honest at this point. It took me 4 attempts to watch it all the way through because I kept falling asleep. I didn't find it engaging. I imagine, because it was released, 1994? I imagine at the time the style of filming and the style of writing was pretty cutting edge and was a bit offbeat to what was being churned out by Hollywood. But all things considered, watching it now, I didn't really enjoy it that much.
I think you're right. At the time, sorry to chip in there.
Right.
At the time, it was pretty off the wall because it started halfway through and then cut back to the middle. No, that's halfway through, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then went to the start and back again. It did take a couple of times to actually get a grip of what was happening.
Now, interestingly, because there's another movie by Quentin Tarantino that does that called Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. I liked Reservoir Dogs as a movie, all told. But then again, I haven't watched it for a number of years, so I don't know if I went back and watched it again now, whether I'd still enjoy it because of, again, the writing style, the shooting style, and whether it's actually something that would keep me interested for long enough. Now, interestingly, I was listening to another podcast the other day, and they talk a bit about movies and such like. And they gave me an interesting idea, which probably everybody at home does this as well. When you're watching TV or watching a movie, you can gauge how good it is or how interested you are in said movie by your mobile phone. How often do you pick up your phone when you're watching the TV? And it's something that I found myself doing whilst I was watching Pulp Fiction, is I kept picking up my phone and having a look and checking Facebook and Twitter, and because I wasn't actively engaged in what was going on. I'm not into movies about heavy drug use, and God knows what that dancing was about between Uma Thurman and John Travolta halfway through, when they're in that diner. But yeah, like I say, I'm sure at the time it was a great movie, and I know loads of people rave about it, and as we've said before, heavily referenced. Le Royale with cheese. That was probably my favourite line out of the whole film. Le Royale with cheese.
It was the fast food element of the
exactly.
the film. By the way, apologies. I think it was probably me that was texting you just to see where you're up to with watching Pulp Fiction.
You were texting me to stop me from falling asleep. But yeah, I did struggle watching it. But like I said, I'm sure it's a great movie, and if you're into that kind of filming style, I mean, I'm not a massive Quentin Tarantino direction fan. Like I said, the only movie of his that I've seen that I really enjoyed was Reservoir Dogs. Everything else that he's directed, I haven't really engaged with. So you're talking, now Pulp Fiction, you're talking Kill Bill, you're talking Grindhouse and Death Proof. I didn't like them. You're talking Inglourious Bastards. I haven't seen that yet, but I'm not really interested.
Yeah,
because it's a Quentin Tarantino directed movie. He has a unique style, and it's a style that doesn't sit in with my flavour of movie. So there you have it. That's. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'd give Pulp Fiction a 1 out of 5.
Ooh,
but that's my honest opinion. I mean, that's me watching it 24 years later.
Yeah.
24? 94 it came out. So I don't know.
That's you watching it sometime later.
22 years later. So
yeah.
That's me watching it 22 years after it was first released. And I imagine at the time it was probably getting 4s and 5s because of its cutting edge style and because it was completely different from what Hollywood was pushing out. But yeah, now I've gone and watched it. Just a 1 from me.
A 1 star.
Yeah,
wow, this is
bored.
the first time it's happened in all of
4
4 episodes. But yeah, Tarantino. So if we've got any listeners who are big Tarantino fans,
I know one. My brother's a big Tarantino fan.
Really?
Yeah, he loves Tarantino movies.
oh dear.
But the thing is, Quentin Tarantino, as a producer and a writer, I think is really good. So if you take movies like From Dusk Till Dawn and Desperado, they're not directed by Quentin Tarantino, but he wrote and produced them.
Did he?
Yeah, they were directed by a guy called Rodriguez. I've forgotten his first name now. I want to say Ricardo. No, it's not Ricardo. Something Rodriguez, anyway.
Andre?
No. I'm going to have to Google it now.
Juan?
Juan Cheat. But, there we go, Desperado.
Antonio.
Directed by Robert Rodriguez. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't Roberto. That was totally racist of me. I apologise. Robert Rodriguez. Great movies. I really enjoyed them. But like I say, they're written by Tarantino or star Quentin Tarantino, and I really enjoyed them.
How many of his films has he actually played a part in?
Loads. Should we find out?
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino. Filmography. As an actor. As in his own films.
In his own films, how many has he played a part?
Hateful Eight. Django Unchained. Inglourious Bastards. Planet Terror. Death Proof. Grindhouse. Kill Bill Volume 2. Jackie Brown. So quite a few.
Gosh.
I don't think he wasn't in. I didn't spot him in Pulp Fiction. I know he was in Pulp Fiction.
Is this a directing, producing, and writing career based on the just a lack of casting in an earlier life?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But then again, he may be one of those who feels he's good at direction, obviously has found a studio who agrees with him, but has also gone, I really like to act as well, and maybe as a cost-saving measure, just cast himself instead of somebody else.
Well, I think a lot of people do it. If they can't get a part, they write themselves a part.
Yeah, exactly. So, so that's that. Quentin Tarantino.
1 star.
1 star.
So, here comes the question. What have you got for me this week?
So this week, Ted, in light of your outstanding review of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective,
Thank you.
I think it would be prudent for you to go away and watch the 1995 movie Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
Right. Okay.
Which is a sequel to Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Yeah, I was guessing that. I was guessing that. The process was working its way to. Oh, right. There's a sequel.
Yes. So,
Okay.
Fortunately for you, it is the only sequel.
Yeah.
There is not a third movie, not a third Ace Ventura movie.
Right.
Much to the fans' dismay.
Yeah.
There isn't a third one. So
There's not a third one. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's not one in the can or being planned or anything like that.
No.
I'm not going to get any more surprises.
No, I think Jim Carrey might be a bit old for Ace Ventura now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there was some crazy trousers.
Yeah, the crazy trousers make a comeback.
Yeah.
And the crazy hairstyle, which I tried to model myself on. Can you tell?
Yeah, I can see. And you're doing well. You're doing well.
Fantastic.
Just need to get you the trousers.
Alrighty then. Moving on.
Moving on. Okay, well, I'll look forward to that. And I'll be reporting back to you all on Ace Ventura:
When Nature Calls.
When Nature Calls.
Yeah. Cool. And now it's time for another track, and we're going to go back to the Lucky Face, who we featured on episode 1 of this show. This song's called Loretta from the album AI.
My hairdresser's called Loretta. She owns an angry heart. I'm awfully glad I met her, but I wouldn't want to see her start. She owns a fat lambretta and an even fatter ass. I'm awfully glad I met her, but I wouldn't want to break that heart. She asks, is that alright? Just to be polite. I can't tell her it looks like shite. I just do it myself again tonight. 'Cause she's big enough to bounce me off the wall. That would not be all. And she's hard enough to have me in a crawl. And that would not be all. I never feel the need to tip her, but she bears me no ear. She's always pretty chipper, but it's probably just a happy pill. She likes to talk for hours about the deeds that she has done, and then she'll show you a picture saying, here's what you could have won. I sit at home at night beneath the mirrored light, wondering if one day might Loretta actually get it right. 'Cause she's big enough to bounce me off the wall, and that would not be all. To have me in a brawl, and that would not be all. It pays you plenty to know you're wrong from right. You must be nice. You've got to be nice.
That was episode 4 of The Tuesday Show.
As always, you can catch us on Twitter at Tuesday_podcast, on Facebook, The Tuesday Show Podcast, and on Instagram at The Tuesday Show. Don't forget to get in touch on email, CJ and Ted at thetuesdayshow.co.uk. You can also catch Ted and myself on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook by searching for at Ted James Media and at CJ Brooks FM. That's it. He's Ted James. I'm CJ Brooks. It's been emotional.
Goodbye.
And mine. Hard enough to have me in a brawl, and that would not be all. And that would not be all. And that would not be all.
Hey, Ted.
No.
Oh, bollocks. Who are you? Who am I? What day is this? Oh, my goodness.